Welcome back, Terps and friends. Hope everyone has been staying warm because it is time once again for some Terps Premier League of Legends action. My name is Nathan.
And my name is Cindy, and I hope everyone is as excited as we are to watch our Terps League of Legends Premier team compete.
That's right, Cindy. We've got a lot to cover in our pre-show, including a quick review of how the game works, as well as an interview with the Premier ADC, Hectic.
But before we get into the action, let's go over the rules of your typical League of Legends tournament match. If you've never played the game before, League is a multiplayer online battle arena, also known as a MOBA. 5 players on each team battle it out on Summoner's Rift. There's monsters in the jungle, minions in the lanes, and turrets to be destroyed. Victory is achieved upon destroying the opposing team's nexus.
For this league match, the Terps will be going against the University of South Florida Gold in the Play vs. College League regular season. We're about a month into Premier action, so we'll be seeing the Terps try and keep the good form going.
We've seen the Premier team go 2-1 thus far, so today will be all about staying over 500.
So now that you know what's happening tonight, it's time for us to introduce you to the players of the Terps League of Legends Premier team.
In support, we have Viet Mike. We all know that support is one of the most important roles on the map, and as the captain, we can surely expect to see Viet Mike making plays for the whole team.
In the mid lane, we have Zero Domain, the Mage Maestro returning. Zero actually resigned from the team at the end of the spring semester, but he's back and better than ever, putting together a pretty good season thus far.
And in jungle, we have Pika. Pika absolutely loves his engaged junglers, so expect to be seeing him jump into the middle of all the action to peel for the rest of his team.
In our top lane, we have Ali Rezik. The jack of all trades in the top lane is also returning after a semester of hiatus. Joined by jungler Pika and strong engages, they're a force to be reckoned with on the front line.
And lastly, in the ADC role, we have Hectic. A true veteran, Hectic has been on the team for a while, taking on roles including coach, sub, you name it.
Tonight, speaking of, we're going to be interviewing our local League of Legends ADC, Hectic. Hectic, how you doing today? I'm doing all right. I'm ready for some league. How do you personally feel about the ADC changes this season in comparison to the rest of the roles?
I think it's great. We got a lot of gold. We got a lot of ability to actually carry games now with the 6 items, and so yeah, it's really good.
For sure, for sure. Who is your favorite non-ADC champ? Maybe an off-meta pick if you have one, or?
I guess maybe like Seraphine. You know, I love Seraphine out here.
I wouldn't have expected that, but I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect it for sure. So me personally, I never knew how to feel about the item Stormrazor, but what do you think about it now that it's back?
I mean, I think it's very good on specific champs like Jhin, Kate, Felios. It's, I mean, it feels good to play with just because of the movement speed and just feels good. Yeah.
Definitely. And one last question, a little bit of a sillier one. In your opinion, which ADC do you think would be the best roommate to have?
Probably Jinx, because she's crazy, so it'd be cool. It'd be fun.
A lot of excitement in your life.
Yeah,
I like that. Well, thank you so much for the interview. That will conclude our pre-show for this League of Legends match. We're ready, and we hope you're all ready for this hype team intro video for our Terps Premier League squad.
Thunder roars. Every second matters.
Evolution as a destination.
Don't make me blow up your inventions again.
Let the world know of the generosity of Renata Blast.
And I think by the end of the season, like now, we play together, everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
With the middle school program, the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game, and so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
off game, or will red turn things around?
I'm Greg, also known as Sind, and I'm an initiator player for the Valorant Premier team.
I'm Kazu, and I go by NJV, and I'm the coach for the team.
I'm Richard, and I go by Pickle Richard, and I'm the duelist player.
Pretty fun. I definitely liked all the guys I was playing with. It's fun to get in the server with them. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a challenge balancing it with other things, but
yeah,
it's definitely something that I enjoy doing a lot.
Yeah, making like all the friends that we made through this team, so it really makes me happy. So it's like really awesome that we did this.
Yeah, I think I had really fun times on this team. I played well every single game.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I think my favorite moment was map 5. I think that was a really fun match.
The grand finals.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was
grand
fun.
final. Yeah.
You remember what map it was?
I don't remember that.
Oh, it was Sunset. Yeah,
Sunset.
yeah. And you played Raze.
Yeah, I played Raze.
Yeah, no, that map was really intense. Like, it was super, super hard. The pressure was definitely on. Like, it was super late at night. It was like midnight or something.
It was very late. It was really late.
1 a.m. or
like my favorite moment was probably the first match of the season.
Oh yeah.
First time in the studio together.
Oh, in the studio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. It
was
like
fun.
Fun seeing all the Academy boys in the studio. So that was sick. Yeah.
My personal goal is I think I'm gonna try to hit Radiant this season.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely to win Big Ten right now, and then place top 8 in CVAL. That's our goal.
Top 8 CVAL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Ten is definitely the thing I'm most interested in seeing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not flying out, but hopefully, or the boys do well over it. Where is it? OSU? Ohio State?
Yeah, Ohio.
Ohio.
I promise at least second place.
At least second place? I think we can win it.
I think we can win it too.
I think we can.
We gotta be humble.
Everyone, we just we can't get complacent.
Can't get complacent. Never that.
That's a good one.
Go ahead.
Honestly, like unironically, I think Kazu is a very fun person to have in the program as like an emotional leader. Even though he doesn't always, sometimes things can get a little disorganized with Kazu at the helm.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, but for as much flack as we give him for being terrible at the game, he's actually.
Yeah, if you watch our
he's
games
actually a very
while I play, you'll be surprised. Like, I hear House is the guy my coach a lot.
Yeah,
like, weird about times.
But I think Kazu's a great addition for him. I love that.
Yeah, I love him.
You love Valorant.
He's very wholesome.
He is very wholesome.
Yeah.
He's Radiant. Remember that.
I'm Radiant. Remember that.
Yeah, his timeouts have improved a lot too. As someone who's seen him coach over the last like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Your old timeouts were.
Yeah, that was when I was a little baby boy coach.
Yeah, but now he's improved a lot.
Yeah.
I really like having him as a coach.
Thank you, Gregory. Wow, this is great. Let's do this more often.
That's the most praise you've ever heard.
He got an ego boost for free today.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
How we doing, everybody? I'm excited for some league action. What about you?
I'm super excited. How are you feeling about this?
I'm feeling good because I've had so much work to do that I get to sit back and watch league and talk about it and have a good time watching our local guys duke it out. See, we see them right here, looking like they're staying pretty loose. I have a good feeling about tonight's match.
Yep, it looks like they're prepared already.
Absolutely. As we see, what do you think about the new season? I mean, I know we've talked about it a lot, but what do you think about the new season with all the changes and like the role quests and such? We just talked to our ADC about it, but what do you think?
I mean, yeah, there's been a lot of significant changes with some of the characters, especially the ADC role. I'm excited to see how the team deals with that today.
For sure, for sure. It's an undeniably big part of what's going on in the game. It's like you can't ignore some of the changes that happen. It's like with the role quest, it changes completely how the game is played, honestly. So, I don't know. I mean, these guys are professionals, so we definitely know that they have a pretty good grasp of what's going on, but it's definitely interesting to see how different the game looks nowadays, or at least in this season compared to last season or however long ago. Honestly, I think Riot Games have done a good job of keeping it fresh.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like with the new changes, they tried to balance out the ADC role a bit better.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of ADC mains in particular complaining about it, so I don't know. I hope that they're happy. I haven't seen too much discourse about it recently, but I do hope they're happy. And I think most of the roles got, are fairly happy. Jungle and support didn't get too much, but the extra control ward slot for support definitely feels good. And top lane, I definitely think top laners got a pretty big stipend right there with the extra XP and stuff. So I don't know. I'm excited. We're going to be getting into draft soon, and we'll be able to get into that. But for now, what do you think? What do you think we're going to be seeing tonight?
Oh, I think we'll definitely be seeing some of those new ADC changes in action tonight. Hopefully a lot of engages with our players.
With Viet Mike, our support, right? And Pika, our jungler.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They definitely like to get into the mix, and I don't know, I'm excited. Last time that I casted, I got to do the academy team, so I've watched the streams, but I haven't gotten to cast over the premier team, so I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what else? What do you think about who's your main?
Who's my main?
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely like mid laner, and I take a lot of inspiration from Faker. But yeah, I really like engaging with mid laners and having that big impact in the team. For sure, for sure. What do you think about the boots? I mean, we saw the tier 3 boots last season, but you as a mid lane player, how do you feel about the tier 3s on the role quest? The tier 3s, I think that will definitely affect my previous gameplay. I mean, it's a big change with the speed. What do you think about this change? Honestly, I do play a little bit of mid lane myself, and I think it's good and bad because, one, I think mid laners get it quicker, if I'm not mistaken. They get their role quest quicker. So there's that good, and so they get to take over the map a little bit better. But it is a little bit bad because all they're getting is about maybe 600 gold of stats, and then top lane gets 2 levels, and bot lane gets an extra gold per minion and all that kind of thing. So it's a little bit weird. So I don't know. It's one of those things, you know. But yeah. Actually, we have some news today. Our top laner, or our ADC Hectic, will be swapping out for Bread is Very Yummy, who is a mainstay on the League Premier team. So we're excited to see that, and we know that, you know, he definitely gets it done in some of our games. I know I've seen it, and I don't know. I'm excited to see that. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this change will impact the team dynamics. For sure, for sure. And we did interview Hectic, and obviously we're appreciative of that. But it seems like he will not be playing tonight. Yeah, but I mean, either way, we know he's going to be around. He'll be there for the morale, if nothing else. And yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, you know, just that kind of happens in the moment. Yep. But that is what the delay is for as we speak. We will be getting the draft definitely very soon, but that is kind of what's been going on. And again, we will be seeing Brad coming into play today. So what? We know that a lot of the players on the Terps Premier team like to play those go-in champs. How do you think that that's going to combine with Zero always kind of hopping on the mage, like the mage wave, if that makes sense? Oh, that's a good question. I feel like with the strong engage plays, that can definitely put a lot of pressure onto the enemy team. and especially with Zero on those bot lanes, I mean, that will be an interesting dynamic.
For sure. I like that. Yeah, honestly, that's what I play a few mages, not many, but I know the play style, and that's what you want as a mage, is just a bunch of health right in front of you to tank everything, so that you kind of get to do what you want, you know what I mean? You kind of just are able to play your own game without having to worry too much. And same thing with ADCs, but mages and ADCs are very similar in that regard, just being able to, do that. And honestly, thank you to our team manager, Tyler, our League of Legends team manager, Tyler. He managed our last-minute swap very well. We see him right here. Tyler is for sure the GOAT. We absolutely love him here in the studio. And once again, thank you so much to him for, getting through this swap and performing under this last-minute pressure to get the swap in and make sure everything's straight. We love Tyler. We absolutely do.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tyler.
He's the GOAT, man. He's the GOAT. He's been around League for a while, and he always has something funny to say about League. I know that. Recently, he was complaining about mages. Funny enough, we were just talking about them, but recently he was complaining about mages, and I'm like, I totally feel you. Playing against mages, it's like sometimes it is just a shame. Absolutely. So, as we are getting into this game, what do you think about support? Like, honestly, everyone has a different opinion about support and how that role looks, and honestly, I think support's a little bit broken. But what do you think about support and the impact that supports can have around the map?
I mean, yeah, support is just one of those roles where it depends on the player's play style. Like if you go for a more aggressive play, I mean, it can be they can put a lot of pressure onto the enemy team.
Definitely.
And whereas if you go for a more passive play and go for more heals, then they can definitely amp up the performance of your own team and just be that backbone,
For sure. In this higher level of play, we see so much roaming from supports, and honestly, we know Viet Mike likes to get on the engaged supports sometimes. So we said it in the pre-show, but be on the lookout for Viet Mike to be making plays around the map, because that is honestly what support role is so good for, is sometimes being a second jungler, being able to move around the map, but it takes a smart player to know when.
Yeah.
And I think that we have a pretty good mind in Viet Mike, our captain.
Great way to put it.
Yeah.
What do you think of the top lane for this upcoming game?
Honestly, I think that tanks are pretty good this season, especially with the extra levels, the extra stats that they get. So honestly, I really like Ornn right now. I think Ornn is really good in top lane because he gets the extra levels, he gets the extra upgrades and all that. But right now, we will be going to another commercial break as we try and get the substitutions sorted out. So we appreciate you sticking with us, and we will be back very soon.
My name is Subin Kim, my in-game name is Carrots, and I'm the controller of this team.
My name is Hannah, my IGN is Tuxedo Sam, and I play Sentinel for the team.
My name is Sima, my in-game name is Care Bear, and I'm a flex.
My name is Megan, my IGN is Giraffe, and I'm an initiator.
My name is Sophia, my IGN is Soap, and I'm an initiator.
Hi everyone, I'm Ayush, my in-game name is Dulcexa, and I'm the coach.
For me, I think it was just really interesting to see our names on social media and on a website. I'm just like, whoa, my name is on a website but so I think that was the number one thing that kind of just it brought the realization of what kind of team I'm in, what kind of position I'm in.
Meeting them. It's hard to make a woman and non-binary friends in Valorant, so it's just really nice that we have a team specifically for that.
The studio.
Yeah.
Oh, the studio. Oh, I didn't even know that existed.
I
I didn't know that existed until like remember like when we first talked about the studio. I was like, "What's that?" When I first went to the room, I was like, "Oh, there's cameras and lighting." I'm just like, "That's
nice computer."
Nice computer.
The monitors
So
are crazy.
true.
Winning.
Yeah.
Oh, so true.
Yeah.
W winning.
Getting into that.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, I feel
that
like
was pretty cool.
hey. I would say supportive is definitely like Dusty and Rachel. Those two, just like making sure we had scrims down, making sure we had practice schedules down. Like Dusty making sure like to pick out what we did wrong, just like helping us improve. I think definitely.
Yeah, Dusty's a very present coach. So
Very.
It's like he's really reliable and helped us through the whole season.
Thanks, team.
Yeah, you'd even like schedule things for us,
like organize all those schedules.
help us map bands and like talk to
Stats,
them
yeah.
if like realize if one of them was like unranked or something. Breaking a rule, making teams forfeit.
Maybe we don't talk about that last part.
I would also say like our fans in chat, like on
Oh,
stream.
true.
So it was nice knowing
W
people
chat.
watching us.
And the haters.
Oh yeah.
Improve in the higher division.
Yeah, it is definitely more challenging because we're in a higher division now. But I think we could with our coordination. I definitely think we could. We need to bring home another one of these.
It feels great.
Yeah.
You guys know this is the first title that Terps Esports has won.
Wait, seriously?
And by women.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously? Oh,
First time.
cool.
I like playing Valorant.
Have an excuse to play games.
That's true. That's good.
For me, I joined because I've always wanted to be on a women's team, especially like since I got to UMD, and me and Dusty had always like tried to make teams work every semester, and this was the first time it actually did work and stuck, and the people who tried out like were committed. So I guess I've always just wanted to be on a women's team to like connect more to that community.
To make friends.
So I had that gap, without a team for a while, and then I saw the form, and I was like, I really want to try this. This sounds fun. And then, yeah, I play Valorant too much. First of all, I did not imagine me being IGL when I first started because I am, outside of my Lilac team, I am known as the no-brain, only aim chamber in comp. So I did not imagine myself being IGL. But I think it's if there were some difficulties in the beginning because no one I wasn't used to giving out comms. I was just very confused. But I think now it's just the amount of trust that my teammates give me when I give out comms and the amount of coordination that we have. I just love being IGLing because I trust that things will work out.
Hi, my name is Teddy Zielkowski. I am a 2022 graduate at the University of Maryland with a degree of Bachelor's of Landscape Architecture, and right now I am a Terps Rocket League coach. Yeah, I think one of the biggest factors of why they invited me to be the coach for the Rocket League team was that I played a lot, and I was actually the Rocket League president of the club. I played for the collegiate team before Terps Esports was a program. So I was a huge person in this community for Rocket League. So they really wanted someone who was kind of like a cornerstone that built this community to come back and be the coach. The most important thing about my role would be just getting to know all the different players on the team. Everyone has different lifestyles, they have different play styles, so you really gotta just get to know every single person so that you can help kind of connect them all together so they can play well on and off the pitch. My favorite part would just be seeing their improvements throughout the entire season. I mean, you start out and everyone's a bit awkward, everyone's kind of shy as well, and I think by the end of the season, like now, we play together, everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray, so it's really fun just seeing, and they're also just getting better at the game too, so we're excited just to see them play better as well. I like the program, I like the direction it's going. There's obviously so much more work to do and figuring everything out, but I really like the direction we're going, and I think just the more time that we're working to grow the program, the more we're going to learn how to just be better as a program. I think one of the things that I really want to keep improving upon for Terps Esports is just building a bigger community for all the games. So the Rocket League community has a really big community over in the club side. So it was really nice to see more people just bonding together. People are just, instead of just seeing as practices as being a forced mandatory thing, people are reaching out to each other and they really want to play proactively with each other, and they're becoming friends as well. So it's not even a team and we're just teammates and that's it, but it's more we're staying up till 2, 3 a.m. playing because we're having fun playing, and that's also helping them get better as well. So it increases their chemistry together and just playing together as well, and they can handle losses better when they're a team and they're friends. So that's a really good part about just building this community. I think one of the biggest things is just creating a welcoming space for beginners, and just having it just be really welcoming, all skill levels included. So that's something that we can try and do, and just create more diversity in the esports scene, just have more opportunities for other people to come, and maybe they're prodigies at a certain game or something. So when more people are playing the game and just creating more noise, then it's awesome for more people to just keep coming. It's almost like a trend. And I think by the end of the season, now, we play together, everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
With the middle school program, the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game, and so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
Off game, or will Red turn things around?
And I think by the end of the season, now, we play together, everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
With the middle school program, the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game, and so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
Off game, or will Red turn things around?
Hello, everybody. Sorry about the delay. We have draft coming up very, very soon, and I am not lying this time. I think draft is ongoing already, but we are very excited to get into our game. And yeah, here we are with draft. As we already see ban phase coming up, the Terps have banned out Poppy and Cassante thus far, with USF banning out Ambessa and Lucian. We'll be seeing a Yunara ban come out from the Terps as well. What do you think about that?
I mean, that will be very interesting to see when, because she applies so much pressure to the enemy team. This will definitely be an advantage for the Terps.
And we see a Swain ban coming out of USF, and honestly, I like a Swain ban from either side because he is so oppressive this season. He has played in ADC, top, support, mid lane, and he can play anywhere, and that's kind of what you see a lot in Season 16 is those flex picks, as we see Terps are contemplating their first pick right now, but so many champs this season can be flexed in any role, and Corki is one of them. I've seen Corki ADC mostly, but we know Corki is historically a mid laner, and I've seen him top. I don't know if it's too great, but Corki and honestly USF are going to be seeing, most likely calling out that as an ADC pick, and they're going to be looking to counterpick with rather Varus or Caitlyn, it looks like they're looking at, just to outrange and maybe outpressure the Corki. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, with the Caitlyn or Varus pick, there's so much range with those characters that they really bring in advantage when those team fights are far apart or with poke damage.
For sure. And Orianna is, I honestly believe Orianna is always a strong pick. Her ultimate command shockwave is so good in these team fights, and honestly, it can be a game changer. We see it all the time with, the GOAT Faker. He loves this Orianna pick, and he loves his shockwave turning the fights and turning games just with one click of a button. And Orianna is the champ that is able to do that. As we see, we're most like, I would imagine that the Terps are going to be looking to counter with mid here, because they see obviously the USF mid laner. I would imagine they're looking to pick mid, just, obviously they see it. And we see Sion, and Sion is very typically a top lane pick, but in this patch, I've seen a lot of Sion mid. I don't know if he's good into Orianna, but he is currently, as I said, he is currently a flex pick, top or mid lane. As we see Karma coming out as well. The Terps bot lane is set in stone, as we see Corki and Karma coming out with a Sion to be decided. And that makes sense. We will also see the support pick coming out of USF, going to be Nautilus or Nami, because again, they don't want to pick one of the other roles that is susceptible to the counter pick. And honestly, Terps might be looking to, I don't think the Sion is set in stone yet. I think they might put him wherever they want him at some point, rather than having him already set top or mid lane. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, with Sion, he's so dynamic. You can put him on either lane and wherever he needs to be. So we can definitely see a change happening there in the future with that pick.
For sure. And we see the Mundo ban coming out of USF, and this season in particular, Mundo has been a bit of a threat, a bit of a force in the jungle role. I think we saw it 2 weeks ago with the Academy team, if I'm not mistaken, but going to be seeing a Mundo ban. I mean, you cover your bases top and jungle, and a Malphite ban, which I really like, because Malphite is also, just like Orianna, a really big threat in these team fights with his ultimate. So honestly, by banning Malphite, it reduces the potential team fight of USF. And we're going to be seeing a Zahen ban. So USF, and Zahen also goes jungle sometimes, I will admit, but I think that Zahen is mostly a top laner, and USF are really committed to not believing Sion is going to be a top. Honestly, that's what I'm seeing, at least. I could definitely be wrong, but that is a new Deer ban. Instead of Zahen, more of a jungle ban. Maybe I take it back now. maybe the Sion, maybe they believe it could be flexed, but we see an Olaf ban, and that is interesting because we're seeing a Jarvan pick, and honestly, I kind of like Jarvan into Olaf, and that's a little bit sad because now the Terps don't have that pick.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably a strategic ban from USF.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing, so the Jarvan is already picked. They have their jungle out. We know Jarvan's going to be jungle. He's always a jungler, and so USF's cards are kind of out all on the table. We know that they're waiting for the top lane counter pick, and so there it is. That's going to be Rumble. That's most likely going to be top lane. So Sion in the mid lane, not something you see very often, at least in the course of the league history, but recently, again, like I've been saying, I've been seeing Sion mid a lot.
Yeah, with these new season changes, I'm excited to see how that dynamic with Sion in the mid lane will look like.
For sure. He is he's able to exert a lot of pressure through his wave clear, as we see Ornn and Wukong picked. Wukong most likely going to be in the jungle, but honestly, I really like, could be a Gangplank pick, and I'm particularly a fan of Gangplank, just one of my champions, but he's very hard, but he's really good if you're able to pilot him, and honestly, I trust these high-level players to pilot him no matter what. But I do think, they're going to be picking the Ornn. It's safe. Ornn is very good this season. I think I was saying earlier, because of the XP changes, he's able to get his item upgrades so much quicker, and I think he skyrocketed in win rate like with the new season. But I don't know if Riot knows what to do with him, honestly.
Yeah. What do you think some implications are for the Ornn pick?
Honestly, they're going to be really, really big on the team fight, like we said with the Orianna and such. But they're going to be really big into the team fight. Caitlyn's going to be behind everyone. Orianna's going to be behind everyone. But Jarvan and Ornn have so much health, and they will be able to just stand in the middle of everybody and tank for so long. Especially with Jarvan ult, he is so good at singling someone out, or if he gets a good one, a good angle, he can ult the whole team, and everyone's kind of trapped unless they have a dash or flash. So you're going to be seeing probably UMD, our local Terps, are going to try not to bunch up too much, as with the threat of the Jarvan ult coming through and the Ornn ult.
Yeah.
But honestly, that Shockwave, it's called the Forge God from Ornn, and it's the Jarvan ultimate as well that are all going to be coming through, and they are a team fight. It's a masterclass in a draft if you're looking for a team fight. But honestly, I do like the Terps draft as well. It's a little bit more, I don't want to say all over the place, but it's a little bit less directed. And obviously, USF is big on the team fights. But honestly, I like some of the champion synergies for the Terps, because this Rumble ult is going to come down. Sion's going to be in the middle of everyone, CCing everyone. So is Wukong. And Rumble ult is multiplicative. His ultimate, the Equalizer, is exponential, the damage. So they might not be looking too bad in team fights as well. But they have a little bit maybe less direction than USF does. But I still like the draft nonetheless.
Yeah, this matchup is definitely something to look forward to. I mean, they both have advantages to one side. I mean, USF looks like they're going for more of a poke with Caitlyn, and UMD Terps are going for more of in direct engage playstyle.
Yeah. Honestly, with some of the lane matchups, it might be a little bit wonky. Sion will be definitely taking things like Grasp, maybe not Grasp, but he'll be taking things like Doran's Shield and Second Wind and Revitalize, because he needs to be able to sustain in lane against the Orianna poke. Because honestly, I think if Sion can get out of lane safely, the Terps might be looking pretty good. But definitely, I mean, USF will also be feeling fine with getting out of lane safely with Orianna, because again, she's so good at scaling and in these team fights. So honestly, it's a little bit of pick your poison. What do you like? What do you want? Do you want to try and scale out the lane against Orianna and kind of deal with her late game, or do you want to maybe look for a play with Pika and Ali Rezek trying to catch out Orianna maybe before 6 even? Because I mean, she even has good disengage, good gank avoidance with her Shockwave. So I don't know. I really do feel like this Orianna and Caitlyn pick are going to be like the focal points of the team fight and of the USF draft.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree.
And so, honestly, yeah, again, like some of the win cons for UMD, the Terps, I'm looking at this Rumble ult, the Equalizer, and I'm thinking, wow, that might have to be it if he's able to get in and use that on Orianna and Caitlyn, or if Corki is going to somehow have enough damage to be able to damage everyone from the back line. But USF are really tanky. They're very, very tanky, so I'm not sure. It's going to be definitely interesting to see play out in the moment rather than just talking about it, I guess. But we will be getting into games soon, obviously, but I don't know. There's a lot to think about with these drafts, I think. Especially with the Karma pick as well.
What do you think of the Karma pick?
Yeah, honestly, the Corki Karma, they're going to be looking to just stay safe, because Caitlyn and Nami are very oppressive in lane. Mm-hmm. And I think Corki Karma, their whole thing, in laning at least, is going to be play safe, just stay even in CS where you can and get out. Because I'm not sure if Corky has the lane pressure to keep up with Caitlyn early, but he'll definitely try. I believe that, you know, we'll pull through, but it might be a little bit difficult for Zero in the ADC role. And so actually, yes, with the substitution, we do have some new roles. And in the top, I'm just going to go back all through them. In the top lane, we have Bread. In the jungle, we have Pika. In the mid lane, we have Ali Rezik. In the ADC role, we have Zero, which was previously the mid laner. That's what made me, you know, realize. And then we have Viet Mike, as always, the captain. He's always going to be on that support, trying to make plays throughout the map. But that is an updated look of what we have going on right now. And again, we will be in game very soon. But honestly, I think this will be an exciting one. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, USF is definitely a formidable opponent. They have such a strong comp with defense, and it's going to be exciting to see the Terps. It's going to be exciting to see the Terps, you know, try to poke holes into that defense. Definitely.
And honestly, I think I'm looking at this Jarvan pick, and I'm thinking about this Jarvan pick, and I'm like, I think if there's going to be an X factor, it might be him. And I was saying that with Orianna as well. You know, maybe I'm going back on my word. It'll be one of those two. Mm-hmm. Just because, like, they're so good in the team fight, and I don't know if UMD have... Well, honestly, the Terps have some pretty decent answers for the Jarvan ult, don't you think? With Corky has his dash, Wukong has he has a dash on E, but he also has his clone, which gives him a little dash. Sion doesn't really care. You know, Sion will, if Sion gets ulted, he'll be fine. He won't have a single problem with being ulted by Jarvan. But even with all that, he could ult when cooldowns are down, and it's rough. And so that's kind of the thing with playing against Jarvan is you have to save that key cooldown, like the Corky dash, like the Wukong clone, for the important moments like that. And I think that obviously these are high level players. The USF might be able to take advantage of that, but I'm not sure. Again, we're just speculating right now, of course. Yep. But I don't know. Again, I'm excited, and I don't know. What do you think about the lane matchup in mid lane? As I was saying, I think Sion's going to be poked out a little bit, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, with the long range Caitlyn, it will definitely be a poke off kind of in the mid lane. But I'm excited to see how the junglers try to support their mid laners while through this poke. For sure.
Honestly, did you mean Orianna?
Yes.
Sorry, I don't mean to, you know what I mean? I'm just making sure. But yeah, I definitely agree. But honestly, I think the big thing with Sion mid, if I'm not mistaken, is his wave clear and his ability to just EQ a wave and then it's just gone. And then he's, you know, able to walk around the map and kind of be able to dictate plays. And I honestly believe that that's what Ali Rezik will be looking for, is the ability to just walk around and make plays after shoving a wave, because early game Orianna's wave clear really isn't that good. I don't know if she'll be able to keep up.
How do you think playstyle may play into that, Orianna?
Yeah, it's a little bit rough sometimes. We know Ali Rezik is seasoned, so he definitely knows what he's doing, and I believe in him. But it's just kind of knowing Sion mid, I would imagine, is a very matchup dependent thing, knowing what to do and what matchup. And so, honestly, I think he'll know, like, oh yeah, I just have to shove the wave and walk away. And you know, in that timer that the wave is pushing, he'll go and maybe make a play with Pika, maybe invade, or maybe R into one of the side lanes, the unstoppable onslaught. Just, I mean, his Sion R is a very big team fight turner, or it's a good engage as well, because it's volatile, and he can kind of do anything with it. But it's when you find the angle is when it's that good, because sometimes on its own it's just not enough. But again, I trust Ali Rezik. I trust our guys on the Sion, and yeah. But honestly, the play style, just push and push and push and push. And you're going to have to let Orianna farm, but in that time that she's farming, you got to try and do something. You know what I mean? And Oriana won't be able to follow. And so I think that's kind of what they'll be looking for. Maybe that was the idea behind the Sion pick. And I trust it. I believe in it wholeheartedly. But yeah, I don't know. And especially with the Wukong, that's a pretty decent duo, at least post 6, because Wukong gets to go in and R and use a Cyclone, knock everybody up, and Sion can charge a Q in the middle. And then it's like, what do you do? What do you do if you're on the opposite end of it, of course? But yeah, and as we are finally loading in, once again, sorry for the delay, but we are here, we are back, and we are ready for some league action. Terps against USF Gold in the Play versus College League. And here we go. And as obviously we know, in Season 16, it starts pretty quick. Minions are already on the way, as Karma via Mike will be looking for a little bit of a mantra Q into this third bush as they try and get the pressure. I imagine that this is for the Caitlyn so that they can get first touch on the wave, maybe try and alleviate some of that pressure. As we see Sion going there, getting a ward. That's a pretty good ward. I like that ward myself mid lane whenever I'm playing. Obviously, these guys are definitely better than me. But yeah.
Watch out for the ganks.
Yeah, for sure. And it's also being able to track the jungler. So if they know or not that Jarvan started top lane, they will see him whenever he goes to his Raptors. As we see a little bit of poke coming, actually some good poke coming out of Corki and Karma down in the bot lane here. Zero and Viet Mike. Wow, these Karma Qs are hitting. These Corki Qs are hitting. And they've got some pretty good poke on the Caitlyn. Not how I saw this one starting, but definitely like to see it.
Yeah, with the HP already, USF is down HP while the Terps are a bit up.
Definitely. And that was the thing. That's what I was saying. They got into that bush. Wow, as we see, mid lane is looking like I was saying with the poke. But Sion has so much burst damage out of nowhere that will be Oriana's flash out within 2 minutes. And that's important too, because Oriana early game has really no disengage. She has her shield and she has a little bit of MS. But that's going to be Sion Q flashing in, auto W popping. That's going to be a kill. What a solo kill coming out from Ali Rezik. I just was not expecting to see that so early.
I mean, yeah, that was a great combo of the Qs.
Definitely. And, a little bit of top lane back and forth. But honestly, I'm just shocked that that's what we saw. Maybe Lost Soul in the Oriana for USF isn't used to, understandably not used to seeing the Sion pick, because that was a lot of damage in a short amount of time. That's more than I would have been expecting too, for sure. But yeah, Sion, Ali Rezik going to be getting a good recall off, shoving the wave in, getting it back, gets a Ruby Crystal and a Null Magic Mantle, which I like. But yeah, he just needs to sustain in lane. Honestly, I think we'll be seeing him do that playstyle we're talking about of just shoving and leaving. But as we see a little bit of an engage in the bot lane, Caitlyn's going to be flashing. Viet Mike taking some damage as we come up to the top lane, and Bread on the Rumble getting a solo kill on Ornn. That is an interesting one, because we know Ornn is surprisingly strong in these early fights, but I think Rumble might be a little bit stronger. As we see USF are looking for a little bit of a play on Sion, but I don't know if they'll be able to find it.
Yeah, that's already second blood for the Terps.
For sure. What did you, were you expecting to see a kill like that out of Sion that early?
Definitely not. With the levels being down, it's hard to even get first blood, but with second blood, it just shows how much the Terps have, prepared for this moment.
Definitely. And we see a little bit of an extra trade coming out in the top lane. Sion is able to control this wave against Oriana. Her poke might just not be enough, especially with the Null Magic Mantle from the buy from Ali Rezik. But honestly, just an aggressive and early strong start for UMD, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. As we see just a little bit of a reset for bot lane, and Bread in the top lane already back. He used his teleport to get back just to make sure his wave was straight. We see a little bit of fighting in the mid lane. Jarvan is near, and I believe that there actually is not a ward, but he will be placing one now. And he knows now Ali Rezek on the Scion will know his limits when it comes to harassing the Orianna, as he's doing right now. But, I mean, honestly, this is already looking great for the Terps. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, the Terps are already up 1K gold. It's going to be looking like a steamroll from now on.
Absolutely. And we saw a solo kill in the mid lane, a little bit of a 1-for-1, but Scion passive is going to be able to get that wave in as we see Wukong, Pika on the Wukong, looking for an invade. Jarvan's going to have to instantly flash the Karma tether. Does not want to be a part of that at all. And honestly, Terps are kind of just doing what they want right now. Even though USF got a kill back in the form of the trade, it's just not worth for Orianna because she gets the wave shoved in and then maybe a tower, plating was lost. And it's honestly a little bit of a rout, only 5 minutes in. As we see, wow, Rumble ulting, going to be not being able to capitalize off of it as much as he would like to, but honestly, nothing really compared to what's happening in bot, as we see a very long trade coming out. Going to end now, but Zero Domain and Viet Mike are going to be a little bit behind in health afterward. And we're just seeing a little bit more poke. But we see Wukong already just coming in for the lane gank. Already level 6 with the Cyclone. As we see Call the Forge God top lane. Jarvan's going to be top lane as well. Bread going to be looking for just to get one out of it. Might be a little bit hard because of Ornn just being able to get out. But Jarvan won't have the facilities to be killing Rumble either. And that is a little bit of a time waste for USF in the top. But I mean, honestly, again, Jarvan, he saw Wukong bot lane most likely, or maybe they see him on Dragon, so Jarvan will be counter jungling, being on the invade. As we see Viet Mike taking a little bit of poke, but honestly, I'm really liking the way this is looking for the Terps already as well. Command Shockwave coming out, Ghost from Scion coming out, and honestly,
Terps already slayed the Drake.
Definitely. And that is a solo kill. Look at the Scion damage. I can't believe what I'm seeing on my screen with the W shield pop, with the auto, all at once, the grass proc, and Wukong will be flashing in to R with the Cyclone. That is a clean tower dive, 2 for 0, and plates will be taken by the Terps. This, again, is looking like a little bit of a rout. And Scion, mid, getting plates, getting CS, 0, bot lane, getting plates, getting CS, and honestly, it's just USF have to look for something soon, and that might be what's happening right now with Jarvan. Maybe looking at the top lane?
Yeah, right now it looks like the top lane is in a little bit of a stalemate as they try to take poke damage on each other.
For sure, and we know Rumble is really strong in lane in those early levels, but the problem is that he's playing against Ornn. His solo kill is important. He's up gold. He's up XP. But at the end of the day, it's a little bit hard to capitalize against an Ornn because he's just too tanky to kill again.
Exactly.
For sure. And honestly, as we see Wukong, we see Pika and Ali Rezek just coming in to invade the Raptors. What can they do? What can USF do against it? They're just a little bit too behind to be really contesting. As we see a little bit of a fight breaking out in the bot lane. Karma Tether taking down Nami, getting her stunned. Nami wave coming out, and that's going to be a flash from Nami. Caitlyn has just been autoing the entire time, getting a lot of good damage in. Zero is getting low. Zero will be going down. Viet Mike going to have to be running. Caitlyn messed up her flash a little bit. Honestly, that's a little bit rough. And Caitlyn R, ace in the hole, will not be enough to take down Viet Mike. But we see Scion, the big guy, running down. Orianna is following. It's a little bit scary. Karma doesn't want to commit too hard, but they see 4, and I think Viet Mike will just be trying to get Scion, Ali Rezek out, and he won't be able to. Scion will have to be going down with the ship. Maybe gets an extra pick or two, but that is honestly a pretty worthwhile turn from USF.
Yep. Viet Mike definitely tried to help his teammate out there, but that was basically a 4v1 with his HP being low.
Definitely. When you're that low, and especially on a not tanky champ like that, Karma, it's a little bit hard to get involved when you're low, and all he had really to offer was a shield the MS from the shield and maybe a Q, but that was it. And going to be looking a little bit rough, but Terps still in the lead pretty comfortably with a 2.3k gold lead. Pretty ample gold lead, but we will see that they won't be satisfied until the game's over, as we see Bread taking a very good trade in the bot lane, getting a lot of that Ornn health, and a little bit underrated his mana out. Ornn has a bit of a mana problem early, and we're going to be seeing, obviously, Rumble with no mana trying to take advantage of that. But as we see a very big fight breaking out, we see the Jarvan Arc Cataclysm coming out with the Nami wave. That is not going to matter, though, as Jarvan goes down. Viet Mike taking damage, but Zero is staying in the fight. He does not want to give up on this just yet. He just might have to, though, as Caitlyn has a little bit too much range. He is waiting for his cooldowns. There's a lot of damage coming out back, but it won't be enough as Caitlyn with the R right in his face. R, barrier, Nami heal. That will be Zero going down in the bot lane.
Yeah, Viet Mike is barely able to escape with his life, and the USF is definitely trying to capitalize on that team fight win.
For sure. As we see, wow, you see that. Sion ease the minion, hits Orianna for the slow, tries to R in. Orianna has to flash away. A little bit too scared. If he got hit with that Sion R, he would have been looking at gray for the next 20 seconds or so. But Sion is not done. Going to be hitting an E on Orianna. But with the Jarvan here, it's a little bit scary. Misses Q on both of them. He's just going to be trying to delay, trying to buy time now, trying to keep Jarvan stuck there, but it won't be enough as Sion has gone down. His passive is now down, and Jarvan will continue clearing his Raptors as standard. Not the greatest, but they got a little bit of resource. Ali Reza got a little bit of resources out. The Orianna Flash, the Ghost, and honestly, I think USF will take that in stride. They'll definitely like that one. But what do you think about the game thus far? It's been a lot of action early. I wasn't really anticipating this. I thought it'd be more of a scale-it-out game, but there's been a lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, with League of Legends early game, it's usually quite slow, but we see a lot of action between the Terps and versus USF, and we see that USF is coming up with the kills, you know. The Terps started with a little bit of an advantage with those two initial first bloods, but USF is definitely catching up quickly.
Yeah. And as we see, this dragon is spawned. There's going to be a bit of a fight, both top and bot lane. Top lane with the Ornn dashing in. Not going to be enough. Rumble is completely fine with that trade, honestly, as Ali Rezek on the Sion gets the plates. Right now, it's a little bit of footsies in the bot side just because the dragon's up. As we see Jarvan looking for a lane gank. UMD might know there's no vision, but these guys have great game sense. They might know Jarvan's there, and they're a little bit scared to push up. They could be waiting for Wukong as well, with Pika on the Wukong trying to come in for the counter gank. Yes, they definitely know. As we see Jarvan, Cataclysm coming out, Wukong flashing in. Zero will be going down now, but that is a little bit of a that's a 2-for-1 with some R's coming out, and we see Unstoppable Onslaught coming out top lane. Jarvan was a little bit scared of Wukong there. Wukong probably could have taken him down, so Jarvan just EQs out. Hit a little flag and drag and just jump out of there, get out of there safe. And USF, again, is going to be taking that with a smile on their faces, I would believe.
Yeah, that was a great team fight from USF.
And we're going to be seeing some more happening in the top lane as well. Sion has just so much lane pressure. I think I'm understanding the pick now as we see an EQ onto Orianna just for some poke damage. But now with this mid tower gone, they have a lot more of an opportunity to get priority for this dragon. We already saw Terps got the first Drake, but I mean, right now they're looking in a pretty decent position to get the second one after Sion recalls, comes back maybe with the teleport, and they'll be ready. I mean, Wukong is in his blue side farming, so maybe not right now, but with this tower gone, they get a lot more pressure for the dragon at the very least. And I like the play a lot. Sion has so much health. Orianna doesn't have enough to counter. As we see a little bit, the top lane just keeps skirmishing and skirmishing, but Bread sees Jarvan in the ward, or in the bush on the ward, has to flash, call the Forge God, coming out from Ornn just because of the Jarvan pressure. Understandable, but now they see Jarvan's top. Wukong Pika will be running to that dragon with an extreme speed, trying to just take this before Jarvan and Ornn can get down to it. And they're... Go ahead.
The Terps are already in position to take down this Drake, and you see it right there. They take it down, and now they're trying to push USF back into their turret.
For sure, for sure. And we see a little bit of a fight breaking out. Sion has so much health. He is so tanky. He can just tank forever. They get a clean kill in and out on Caitlyn, and you like that. You get the Drake, you get a pick. Sion TP's right back mid. Ali Rezik staying on top of things. Going to be ghosting and flashing, trying to keep up with Orianna. Might not have enough though, as we see there is just so much happening on the map. Top lane, Bread dodges the EQ from Jarvan, but Jarvan R will just be enough. Can't escape that one without flash, and we saw he had to flash away earlier. But Ali Rezik is not satisfied. He will be coming top to catch the waves, getting honestly a little bit poked down by the Jarvan. Q coming out, not going to be a lot of damage, but will be enough. They definitely cannot dive him. He is a little bit too big for that. As they will both be looking for a recall. Sion, Ali Rezik, he goes where he pleases. Looking a little bit like Mundo. I know he was banned, but he's going to be going where he pleases. They are very, very scared of him and all of his health and tankiness. And he's just going to be trying to delay. He is willing to die here, but we see a TP coming out from Rumble, from Bread. He is here, especially with this flamethrower. It's doing so much damage. And Ali Rezik lives to tell the tale right after. No harm, no foul. He's getting out of there. That is stellar stuff as we see Mike trying to just apply some more pressure and delay backs even more. But, I mean, again, it looked great early. Looked a little bit shakier in the mid. But right now it's looking very good for Maryland.
Yeah, I mean, we're already up 5k gold. It's looking like a steamroll, but then again, USF is putting up a great fight with these engages and being aggressive.
For sure. I agree with you. And honestly, again, they are team fight oriented with the Ornn, with the Jarvan and the Orianna. Looks a little bit tough sometimes, but honestly, I think the Terps are up enough gold to where that might not matter. They have so much prio everywhere. And we see Bread pushing in this wave. He knows Jarvan is not close, so he has the reign to just push these waves in and harass the Ornn a little bit. But I think it's gotten to the point where Ornn really can't take damage unless he's really, really in the middle of a fight. So I don't know, maybe bouncing a few waves back and forth in the top lane is what we're going to be seeing as Sion, Ali Rezik, going to be maybe getting caught out here for sure. Going to be just trying to delay now. He might be able to get out, but that will be Shockwave coming out of Orianna. As we see, honestly, we see Terps coming down. This might be a turn as we see Flash Cyclone coming out of Wukong. Nami Wave, but it won't be enough to save her own life. Jarvan going down as well. That is stellar stuff from UMD to capitalize on, honestly, just Sion being so tanky that they couldn't kill him fast enough.
Yeah, at that point, the Terps were just doing cleanup duty with USF.
Definitely.
Pushing them back into the spawn.
We see a little bit of cleanup mid with the equalizer coming out right on top of Caitlyn's head. She used barrier. It doesn't matter. They're going to be taking Rift Herald. Not in the bot lane where you might think, but they will be taking it mid to get this tier 2. I don't know if they have enough damage on it with just the grubs, but they will have enough damage on it when this wave comes in to be taking it. Zero clearing the wave. Wukong close enough with the hover, with the posture. Honestly, they might be looking for a little bit of a dive if they have... No, maybe they don't have the gall. It's definitely a good call to stay safe. But Mike, I think that might be a little bit of a catch out. Never mind. Karma is very fast, and Jarvan just did not have the tools to keep her locked down long enough to actually get the pick. So again, we've been seeing that so much this game, just getting out scot-free.
Yeah, I mean, the Terps are really good at supporting their teammates when they're isolated by themselves, and so is the USF. So we see a lot of escaping from these dire situations scot-free.
Definitely. And honestly, if I were the Terps, I would be looking at this mid tower. It's 1 health. They can get it whenever they want, but they might want to get it a little bit earlier than later if they can, just for extra pressure. As we see Dragon is up right as we speak. We know USF are not going to want to give this one, though, as they will go down 3-0. I think there might be a little bit of a fight brewing here as we see all of USF coming down. Sion just hitting the bot tower, clearing that wave, making sure they have the prio. But right now, USF have the prio in the fight. Big shockwave coming out, catching Wukong, called the Forge God, Nami wave, everything is coming out. Bread coming in from behind. That will be unstoppable onslaught coming through. Jarvan gets the dragon, but there's still a fight going. Mike is 1 health, going to be going down now, but I think he stalled long enough for the fight to end up even though they're down the Drake. That fight looked very, very dire for UMD, but they were just able to sustain long enough to where the fight itself was only 2 for 2.
Yeah, that was a great objective steal from USF.
Definitely. They got so much prio. They had the whole squadron, the Avengers, if you want to call it, rolling in on the Dragon. Terps were just a little bit too scared as we see Ali Rezek getting that mid tower just for the extra prio, the extra gold. You always like to see it, but the Terps, with all these towers gone, are going to be living in the USF jungle, and Jarvan might not know. Jarvan's going in on this fight, going to be getting caught out right now. Bread catching him with the damage, with 0. That is going to be a clean pick, but it might not be as clean as we think, as there is a little bit of more of a fight brewing in the lane, or in the jungle. Bread going to have to be using his Zanyas. Not enough. Shutdown going to Caitlyn. Not where you'd like to see it, but that is, again, a 1-for-1. Sometimes you just got to take those. As we see, honestly, UMD is still up 6k gold, and it is right now they're looking to restrict, they're looking to suffocate the gold out of USF right now, because that's what you have to do to win these games, especially at these high levels. It's not as cut and dry as some of maybe my lower elo games, whereas you just run it down mid. You have to keep constricting and suffocating the enemy team so that they just keep losing gold until it finally is able to just be won off a team fight. Not much happening around the map right now, but we see Ornn getting a little bit, I don't know if that was the Crystalline or if that was a Demolish proc, but a lot of damage on the bot lane tower. But 0 is looking at Nami right now. Going to be seeing Jarvan, most likely wants to get out, just to get a little bit of poke damage out. And Sion, with teleport up, might be looking to TP up for Baron if there is a fight to break out, which there is a fight breaking out. Wukong eing in, no R yet. The equalizer out from Rumble, though. Not looking great. Just used a few too many resources, and USF were able to kind of just get out scot-free, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, with those resources, it's like a resource roulette, you know. You have to balance when to use them, how to use them. Definitely. Or else, you know, those resources, you're not going to have them in the future when you need it.
Yes, especially with the ults, especially with the summoner spells. I don't know if many sums were used right there, but we definitely saw the equalizer coming out from Bread. Not equalizing much, as we may realize, because there wasn't much of a fight to be equalized, but honestly, again, they have so much prio in these lanes. Sion is just a TP away, just a call away, as he's just staying bot, keeping bot lane pressure, because if he goes unanswered for too long, he will just end the game. That's what Sion does, right? And we see a little bit more of a little bit of a skirmish coming out. Grass proc coming out from Ornn. But the big story right now is a Baron fight breaking out. Sion, as I said, just a TP away, going to be coming in for the extra pressure. They are off of Baron, maybe looking for a bit of a team fight. As we see, Ornn is still bot, and Wukong will be flashing in with the Cyclone, catching out Nami, getting a lot of health, as we see Sion, Ali Rezek, coming in from behind with the unstoppable onslaught, damaging Jarvan a lot more than I would expect. Equalizer coming out, Cataclysm coming out, and Ornn is in the middle of 5 people, going to be flashing onto Bread. Not enough damage from the Ornn. Ornn will be going down. Bread is out. Bread is safe, and Sion is not satisfied with just 1 or 2 kills. He wanted more, didn't get more, but honestly, I think they're going to be looking for Baron, and I think they're going to be very satisfied with what just happened.
I mean, that team fight right there just showed the Terps' confidence in their gold advantage. They chose to prioritize taking that team fight rather than, taking the team fight to the Baron itself.
Definitely. They kind of just got to walk in and do whatever they wanted. As we see, honestly, yeah, USF had the vision, but it's a little bit too scary to get close to the pit when you have the Rumble Burst, you have the Scion Q, you have the Wukong dashes. It's a little bit too scary to get too close, so they will just be having to surrender the Baron to Terps. That will be a 25-minute Baron, and I know the Terps are feeling great about it. As we see, honestly, looking a little bit like an ARAM, like I was saying earlier. Honestly, at this point, they're up so much gold, 8K gold. What can USF do against them? As we see, they're walking into blue side, kind of just traveling as a pack for this dragon, and they are, in all likelihood, going to go up 3 drakes to 1, not none. And again, what do you do if you're USF right here?
I don't know. It seems like the Terps are on a steamroll, and they may just take it to the Nexus at.
For sure. Definitely. And honestly, it's they are really traveling as a pack as we see them walking into the USF jungle right now at 4 deep. Karma Montracue coming out, getting a little bit of a slow onto Jarvan, trying to get extra poke, won't get it, but we see a lot of damage coming out onto Ali Rezik, going to be getting caught here, going to try to get a little bit of damage back, but it will be too little, too late, as everybody on USF has shifted their focus to top lane. What a shockwave coming out from USF. What a cataclysm. This is looking like a rout. Ace in the hole coming out from Caitlyn, and they're walking through, but Terps will not go down without a fight, and they managed to go in this fight 1 for 2, but it's not done yet. Ornn wants to keep going in. He has the health, he has the tankiness, and now Caitlyn is here with the damage. They have a little bit of everything that they need. Viet Mike will be looking to keep them slow for Bread's damage. Bread using Zanya's to not get hit by the Nami bubble, but he will have to flash out as he's in the middle of 3, and Wukong has to walk out. No, he won't. He will go right back in and get picked. Bread trying to get a little bit of something out of nothing at the very end, and that is a little bit of a wipe coming out from USF. That is a pretty big gold swing, but it's not enough. They're still down 6K gold. And honestly, that's what the importance of being so much gold up is, just to be able to lose a fight like that and still be ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that was so impressive from USF. The way they were just able to walk in with their resources, and then it was not looking too good at first, but they were able to pull through at the end with the team fight win.
For sure. And honestly, USF might not have learned their lesson enough, as we see Scion, Ali Rezik just staying in the fight for so long, and it leads to Zero being able to run all the way back top lane to get the pick. They have to learn the lesson if they want to try and turn the game. They have to learn the lesson that they're not going to kill Scion in a situation like that unless they have at least 3 or 4, I'd say. As we see Viet Mike coming in, Bread TPing behind the Nami, dodging the bubble. That's going to be looking like a dead mermaid if I had to guess. As we see Redemption coming out, a little bit too little, a little bit too late, and Ali Rezik again on the Scion, always applying pressure in the lanes. Will he have he does have the tower damage with his R. Charging up his Q, called the Forge God coming out from Ornn. That's going to be enough damage with the Brittle procs. Maybe not. Maybe it won't be enough damage as we see Scion W coming out, decimating Smash, smashing the ground. Bread coming out with the Equalizer, and Ali Rezik, it's a miracle that he's still alive, finally goes down, but I think it's going to be a 1-for-1 if I had to guess, with Bread's damage and Scion coming through. That is going to be a 1-for-1 with the Scion passive. Jarvan just ulted the Scion passive, maybe a little bit questionable, but that is going to be more kills to Zero. More flashes in from Wukong with the Cyclone. Pika is all over the backline this game, and Bread with a great Zanya's from the Shockwave as we see Jarvan trying to EQ in. It's too little, it's too late. Zanya's coming out from Orianna. Again, too little, too late. That is a wipe for UND.
I mean, that was insane. The USF couldn't even secure that one kill. And now the Terps have taken the turrets and are about to take the Nexus.
I was just saying, again, you do not have enough damage to kill Sion unless you're 4, 5, 8 champions deep. You need more than just Ornn to kill Sion, and they might have learned that lesson in that last team fight as he was able to turn it on its head after living for so long, using his W, and being able to be right there, still in the fight, contributing in that last team fight.
Yeah, and that was a little cameo from the winners.
From the team, yep.
From the
It was a
team.
good game. Honestly, I definitely think that they'll be feeling good about that one. Throughout the whole game, they applied a lot of pressure. Their team fights looked a lot better than I thought they would, with the unstoppable onslaught from Sion, with the Rumble equalizer. There's so much that they were able to do in that fight, in any of those fights, and that tankiness from Sion, I think, was kind of the key. In the middle of everything, Sion just being able to take every CC, every damage, all the damage was going to him, and he wasn't even dying for it.
Yeah, I know. And with that early gold advantage, the Terps have really, steamrolled. They took that momentum and rolled with it throughout the game.
For sure. And again, they did look a little bit shaky in the middle. Not too shaky, though, as they were still up gold, but I mean, that they didn't let anything, any lost fight, any pick, they didn't let that deter them from just pushing their lead. And again, they suffocated the USF. They just couldn't get anything going throughout. I mean, honestly, the last 10 minutes of the game was kind of UMD just doing whatever they wanted.
Yeah, and you saw that confidence with how they were rolling out as a team wherever they went.
Absolutely. As we see the guys right here, they're smiling, they're chilling. We see some pretty good vibes coming out from the team. And honestly, I'm excited. After that game 1, I'm excited to see game 2.
Yeah, I know. I want to see how USF combats this,
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, in my opinion, I'd like to see another game just like that because, we love the good guys winning here. But, USF, they're not that bad. And, yeah, so we will be... me personally, I know we're both excited to see this next game and a game 3 if it's possible. But, I mean, yeah, what did you think about, it's hard to watch that game and talk about anything other than Sion, right?
Yeah, like you said before, you have to have 5 to 8 champions on Sion to take him down. Just goes to show how tanky he is in this season. Definitely.
And so... right now, we love that Sion pick. We loved the Wukong pick. But something that's very interesting is that this season, and I believe last season, there is such thing as a fearless draft where neither of these teams can pick any of the champs that they've played. So now USF doesn't have to be scared of that Sion. And honestly, if I were them, I'd be breathing a sigh of relief if I was like, oh, wow, I don't have to deal with that anymore. But honestly, some of the USF champions, I would say I'd appreciate not dealing with anymore, like that Jarvan. In certain comps and against certain comps, he can just flip a fight on his own. But they don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what USF comes up with for their comp next game.
For sure. And so, honestly, with Rumble, with Brett on the Rumble, we know that's one of his staple picks. We saw it a few weeks ago. We see it today. He was looking great on the Rumble, but won't be able to get it next game, which next game will be after a short commercial break. We will be right back.
My name is Subin Kim. My in-game name is Carrots, and I'm the controller of this team.
My name is Hannah. My IGN is Tuxedo Sam, and I play Sentinel for the team.
My name is Sima. My in-game name is Care Bear, and I'm a flex.
My name is Megan. My IGN is Giraffe, and I'm an initiator.
My name is Sophia. My IGN is Soap, and I'm an initiator.
Hi everyone, I'm Ayush. My in-game name is Dulcixo, and I'm the coach.
For me, I think it was just really interesting to see our names on social media and on a website. I'm just like, whoa, my name is on a website but so I think that was that was like the number one thing that kind of like just it brought the realization of like what kind of team I'm in, like what kind of position I'm in.
Meeting them. It's like hard to make a woman and non-binary friends in Valorant, so it's just really nice that we have like a team specifically for that.
The studio.
Yeah. Oh, the studio.
The
Oh,
studio.
I didn't even know that existed. I didn't know that existed until like remember like when we first talked about the studio, I was like, what's that? When I first went to the room, I was like, oh, there's cameras and lighting. I'm just like, that's
nice computer.
Nice computer.
The monitors
So
are crazy.
true.
Winning.
Yeah.
Oh, so true.
Yeah.
Dolingo winning.
Getting into that.
Yeah, that
Yeah, I feel
that
like
was pretty cool.
hey. I would say supportive is definitely like Dusty and Rachel. Those two. Just like making sure we had scrims down, making sure we had practice schedules down, like Dusty making sure like to pick out what we did wrong, just like, helping us improve. I think definitely.
Yeah, Dusty's a very present coach, so
Very.
it's like he's really reliable and helped us through the whole season.
Thanks, team.
Yeah, you'd even like schedule things for us,
Like organize all those schedules.
help us map bands and like talk to them if realize if one of them was like unranked or something. Breaking a rule. Making teams forfeit.
Maybe we don't talk about that last part.
I would also say like our fans in chat, like on
Oh,
stream.
true.
So it was nice knowing
W
people
chat.
watching us.
And the haters.
Oh yeah.
Improve in the higher division.
Yeah, it is definitely more challenging because we're in a higher division now. But I think we could, like, with our coordination, I definitely think we could. We need to bring home another one of these.
It feels great.
Yeah.
You guys know this is the first title that Terps Esports has won.
Wait, seriously?
And by women.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously? Oh,
First time.
cool.
I like playing Valorant.
Have an excuse to play games.
True, that's true. That's good.
For me, I joined because, like I've always wanted to be on a women's team, especially like since I got to UMD, and me and Dusty had always like tried to make teams work every semester, and this was the first time it actually did work and stuck, and the people who tried out like were committed. So I guess I've always just wanted to be on a women's team to like connect more to that community.
To make friends.
So I had that gap, without a team for a while, and then I saw the form, and I was like, I really want to try this. This sounds fun. And then, yeah, I play Valorant too much. First of all, I did not imagine me being IGL when I first started, because I am, outside of my Lilac team, I am known as the no-brain, only aim chamber in comp. So I did not imagine myself being IGL. But I think it's there were some difficulties in the beginning because I wasn't used to giving out comms. I was just very confused. But I think now it's just the amount of trust that my teammates give me when I give out comms, and the amount of coordination that we have. I just love being IGLing because I trust that things will work out.
And we are back after a stellar performance coming out of Maryland in the first game. What'd you take away from that one?
That was amazing. I mean, you saw that momentum early in the game with the Terps in the first bloods, but USF was really trying to combat that with their own gameplay and, managing their resources through that all.
I think a big underrated part of the Terps being able to get ahead so early is they got the first and the second dragon really without much contention. Yeah. And they saw Jarvan top a couple times, and it's like Jarvan is top, you just instantly run to the Drake, and that's what they did. They got so ahead off of just kills, but honestly, the early objectives as well.
Yeah, With the early objectives, they can give you some superb buffs to really steamroll through those future team fights.
For sure. And honestly, with the with those early Drakes, they're just extra pressure too, right? Where it's like, if we're up a dragon, 2 dragons, 3 dragons, there's so much more pressure on the other team to try and get one back, because then it's like it's just going to snowball out of control. And that's honestly what we saw. We saw USF get a dragon back, but it wasn't enough. And the UMD, I believe, got sold that game, if I'm not mistaken. At least got 3. I know that for sure. But again, just so much pressure being exerted right now.
Yeah, and you saw that confidence with the 3rd Drake fight, with just the Terps like momentuming forward with their whole team to push the fight away from the Drake. Just goes to show that they have the buffs that they need and the techniques they need to take down USF.
For sure. And yeah, with that drag fight, that's the one that USF got the dragon for, but Maryland was not scared of the fight. They liked the fight even, I would say, because again, they ended up going 2 for 2 after losing drag, after being down numbers. That was the fight where USF kind of came in as a whole squadron coming down from the mid lane, but it was honestly not enough to be able to really counter fight against UMD. That they ended up even just up the Drake, which is still good. Don't get me wrong, but one of those things. And draft will be starting soon, as we see. But yeah, I mean, again, with the Fearless, going to be looking like a much different game this game. What do you think that we might see?
With Sion gone, there might be a lot more different dynamics with both teams and how aggressive and passive they want to be.
Yeah, definitely. And that's one of those things that you see with the drafts. It's like some drafts are you have to win early, right? And some drafts are you have to stay safe early. And some drafts are, as we see drafts starting right now, some drafts are in a little bit of a healthy medium, which is kind of like what the last game looked like. But this draft starts off with a Nico ban from Terps, with an Ambessa ban from South Florida, and we are getting right into it. What do you think? I mean, Nico ban, there's not much to say right now, but we know Ambessa is pretty, oppressive in lane or in jungle, and we see Malphite ban again, not wanting to deal with his ult. Yunara, they're very set in their picks. They just banned instantly all 3 champs, as we see as well, a Kassadin and Yeon ban coming out from USF. What do you think? I mean, Varus was hovered last game, not picked, but Varus at the start of the season has been looking pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, with Varus, that can add a lot of additional pressure to USF. And with the Ambessa ban from USF, there's a lot less movement with that. For sure, yeah. Ambessa, I'm personally not a fan of playing into her. And I know a lot of people are not fans of playing into her, but this is one of those things you got to deal with at some point. As we see the Varus pick does come out from UMD. Jin pick does come out from USF. They contemplated on it for a minute, maybe buying a little bit of extra time to think about the next picks, as they do have to blind here. And they're hovering Lilia, which I like a lot. I think Lilia is a little bit underrated right now. I don't see her much, but when I do see her, she's pretty good. What about her abilities do you think makes her a good pick?
It's the ult. I mean, we know USF just picked a crazy team fight comp last game, and Lilia ult has definitely the potential to completely win a team fight on its own. You get in, you sleep all 5, and then what do you do after that? Just so much damage coming through, and a full team-wide CC, and I mean, that's a recipe for success, honestly. And so that's honestly that, and her movement speed and her ability to just be in and out and in and out. And against certain comps, it's like perfect. Against more immobile comps, it's very, very good. As we see a Viego pick coming out against the Lilia, they will have to blind here as well. But honestly, it's looking like a bit of an exciting game thus far with Viego Varus against Jin Lilia. Would you agree? Or?
Yeah, those are some interesting dynamics between those from both teams.
Yep. For sure. I mean, Viego recently got a little bit of a skin buff with the $200+ skin coming out, Revenant Rain. Very good skin as for a pretty popular champion, I would say. But we see the Nautilus pick as well, and it's looking like a little bit of a team fight versus team fight. Who has the better team fight is what this one is going to come down to. Braum as well with the Jhin. Maybe not Braum. They were hovering, but he doesn't synergize the best with Jhin because of his auto attack passive. Jhin doesn't auto fast enough to proc it well. So I think that they will be locking in. Yes, they will definitely be locking in the Leona. And right now, it's these teams look a little bit like they want to clash their heads against each other.
Yeah, it's aggro against aggro.
For sure. And we see a Camille ban coming out. Bread on the Camille. They don't want to deal with that. Camille I don't think she's been looking great this season, but I think Bread has been looking good on Camille this season, and that's what they're worried about. So they will not be wanting to deal with that as it does get finalized. Cassante ban coming through. UMD is really quick with their bans. That just looks like they're prepared, right?
Yeah, maybe they did some research on USF beforehand, seeing what champions they main in, but these are some really good picks with the current meta and new updates from this season.
And that's a Victor ban hovered right now. I've personally seen with my own 2 eyes 0 on that Victor. He's a bit of a monster, and if I was them, I wouldn't want to play into it either, but they elect to ban Renekton instead for Bread. They do not want him on that comfort pick either. But one of the underrated things about picking quick or banning fast is that you give the other team less time to think as well. And I honestly think that might be what UMD is looking for, is to just prevent the amount of time that USF gets to think.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe this has something to do with, while they're playing the physical game, there's also an aspect of the mind game behind that too.
For sure. And Jace gets insta-locked right there. They are wasting no time. Jace has been looking pretty good in these last couple patches, in the last year or so. Honestly, since the new Arcane season came out, I see what you're doing, Riot. I understand. But either way, Jace has always been looking pretty good in higher elos. And right now, they're going to be seeing Gwen come out from the top lane in an attempt to counterpick Jace. And I like the pick. I think Gwen's W is going to be very, very important to this comp. Gets to dodge the Leona E, the Jhin, everything, the Lilia Q and R and E, and Jace, half of his kit is also ranged. So I really like the Gwen pick right here.
What do you think about Gwen will, combat against Jace the most?
Again, it's that W, but it's the ability for her to run him down, as we see Victor being picked 4-0. We know that's one of his staples, and Syndra being hovered, but Gwen with her R, we know Jace has his knockback on his hammer form, his E, but Gwen has a dash. Gwen can auto and then get another dash almost instantly, and then Gwen can throw her R and slow him. And that's one of the worst. That's one of the biggest counters to Jace is slow because he has to move so well. And honestly, Gwen being in the game, that is not Gwen. Sorry, that is not Jace mid. That is not Jace top, sorry. That is Jace mid with an Olaf top. Maybe a little bit of a fluke, maybe a little bit of a deke with the flex pick to mid, because we know Olaf doesn't really function too well in the short lane, but we know Victor's going to be mid. We know Gwen's going to be top. We know what UMD's comp looks like. We know what USF comp looks like. What do you think right here? What do you think might be a big turning point? Me personally, I was saying Lilia for USF, but I'd like to hear what you think.
Like you said before, with the Jace in the mid lane, it's going to be interesting because you usually see him on the top lane with his movement speed.
For sure. And honestly, again, 0 is a bit of a monster on the Victor. I'm sure he's glad to have gotten that pick through this game. And, honestly, I'm liking what I'm seeing right now. Victor is very, very strong in the right hands. And I would definitely stand to say that 0 is the right hands. But right now, we're just waiting to get in game. I like the Olaf pick a lot, actually, because a lot of them, like the big problem with UMD comp is that Victor needs to be peeled. And what does Victor do when Olaf R's in and just sprints, right? Olaf just kind of does what he thinks, right? It does what he wants. And then Victor might struggle with that. Varus might struggle with that. And that's honestly, that's just where my head's at, but I'd like to hear what you're thinking.
All right. And with the drafts done, we are looking forward to this second game matchup against USF.
Yeah, as we see a little bit of a panoramic, a little bit of a widespread of the players looking like they're trying to get locked in right now. I trust them. And honestly, sometimes the downtime between games might get you a little locked out. Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it can get you out of that gaming mindset, but within the next few seconds, we hope to see the Terps back into that.
For sure. And again, what do you think about the Olaf pick into all these champions? I personally was saying that I really like it, but I'd like to hear what you think.
Oh, Olaf?
Yes.
Well, it's going to be interesting because he's very tanky, right? So that will provide a lot of extra aggro for USF to really, poke a hole into UMD's comp.
Definitely. And my biggest thing is that they don't really have UMD. The Terps don't really have an Olaf stopper, if that makes sense. Sometimes you might see a champ like Jarvan, like I was saying last game, but like a Jarvan, like an Anivia, who can spawn terrain to stop Olaf, because obviously he can't be CC'd in his ultimate. But right now, to my knowledge, I mean, unless I'm missing some tech, UMD's comp doesn't look like it has anything that can really stop Olaf.
Yeah, I mean, if you were going to choose a pick for CC, who would you have gone for?
To play against Olaf, it would probably be Anivia. Again, because when you Anivia wall the Olaf, he has to flash to keep, Olaf keeps his ultimate going by auto-attacking, and it can go on infinitely if he's able to auto, but if he's not, it goes away pretty quick. And I would say something like the Anivia, or maybe just champions with a lot of movement speed, which, I mean, we see a little bit out of Victor and Gwen, but other than that, if Victor Q's and Olaf has Ghost active, he doesn't really care about the extra movement speed that Victor has. He's going to have more. And honestly, in my opinion, that part of things looks a little bit rough. But, I mean, I like the UMD comp in general. I like Victor, again, a lot, especially in hands of a high-level player. He has a lot of potential. That's kind of the point of his champion, right? The evolution and such. But, yeah, what else? Is anything else like speaking to you with the draft? Or?
I think the Olaf is definitely going to be the most formidable opponent on USF's team at this moment.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see how the Victor and the rest of the Terps will combat that.
What do you think about Jace here? Honestly, Jace has a lot of burst damage, but the problem is that he has to get in on the Varus, on the Victor, on the Gwen, on whoever. And it looks a little bit hard, honestly, with Nautilus in the front of everybody. So what do you think about the Jace pick?
Yeah, I mean, USF will definitely have to know how to navigate and time out those Jace's resources to really capitalize on his utilities. For sure. And Jin is a little bit of a wild card this game, I would say, for USF. He can kind of take over a game, but he needs the time. And this might not be a game where he gets the time, because there's going to be a lot of clashing, a lot of head-to-head, a lot of ramming their heads against each other. And ultimately, in the end, Jin, once he gets to late, once he gets all the movement speed and the damage, he's very, very formidable. But again, he needs the time to get there. And I think with Nautilus protecting Varus, protecting Victor, I don't know if Jin Leona will be able to get an advantage early on that. Yeah. What do you think Jin and Leona will look like later into the end game? So that's the thing. That is what the Terps might be a little bit scared of, is the Jin late game, because again, he is so fast. He has so much damage, and he kind of, again, he's like a Ferrari. He moves so fast. I don't know. But Leona is
Leona throughout the game, in my opinion, has a very straight line power where it's like she is the same strength throughout the game no matter what, just because of how she's made. I mean, she has so much CC. She's so tanky, especially when she pops her W. And honestly, it again, Jin has to get there. But if Jin and Leona do get to late game, it might look a little bit scary for UMD to have to play into that. But yeah, would you agree? I mean, that's what I see at least with Jin Leona. But I'd like to hear what you think.
I mean, Leona just seems like a consistent output for damage, while Jin later in the end game seems like more of a formidable challenge with, you know, building those utilities and buying those resources from the shop.
For sure. And Gwen, again, I really like the Gwen pick, but Gwen might not be too happy to play into late game Jin because Gwen doesn't really have the ability to keep up with him. He's so fast. And Gwen is quick too, don't get me wrong, with her dash, with Ghost, which Gwen really likes to take. Might not take it, but really likes it. And it's just a little bit awkward for Gwen to get onto Jin or to Lilia. I mean, again, they're very big. This is a very big comp for movement speed. Where Olaf, Lilia, Jace, Jin, all these champions want to run. All they want to do is run and run and run. And other than Nautilus the depth charge, I'm not really seeing a consistent way for UMD to stop them from just running around, like running circles around them.
Yeah, I mean, but even with the comp for the Terps, we also have some movement speed. So it'll be exciting to see what this cat and mouse game chase will look like.
For sure. We will be getting into game very shortly, but in the meantime, we just have some more time to talk about stuff. I mean, forget me not. I am mistaken. We are in game already with, again, 0 on the patented Victor pick. Love to see that. Lyrex is filling in, it looks like, for ADC again. And this is looking like a pretty sound roster with Ali Rezik back in the top lane. Bread is gone. And, I mean, here we are. Already back in game. Minions meeting in the mid wave. Victor looking to get a little bit of poke, just gets the ward onto the Raptor pit, but, I mean, again, wow, we see Terps looking to get this early prio. They love to do this, and honestly, it's good, just because, I mean, again, you get the bush, you get first touch on the wave, you get a little bit of damage. I think it's good all around.
Yeah, it's a good strat with their team comps as well.
Definitely. And we're seeing a level 1 engage happening with Viet Mike throwing the hook out. I mean, just getting a little bit of damage. They are feeling pretty okay about that trade. Got a lot of damage on Leona. Viet Mike took a little bit. Lyrex took a little bit. But ultimately, I think they're going to be smiling about that one. As we see just a little bit more poke coming out. Top lane, nothing has really happened. Top lane is looking even. Mid lane has been a little bit of a poke lane. Jace most likely getting a lot of his damage from his cannon form, as Victor obviously just is one of the poke mages in the game, one of the best ones with his E, with his Q movement speed and his shield and all these different things. And Jace might have to play this one a little bit passive in lane at least. What do you think about this lane, at least the mid lane thus far? We just saw a big Victor E coming out again, but what do you think about this? I mean, Jace is already no mana.
I mean, the Terps are a little bit ahead with the bot waves, but it's looking pretty equal right now at this moment as mid laner channels back to spawn.
And that is a big hook coming out from Leona right there, but yeah, Viet Mike on the Nautilus is going to have to flash as well. Lyrex is a little bit scared of the fourth shot from Jin. Not going to matter too much as he just uses it on the wave, but a little bit of a scary trade coming out in bot lane. A lot of flashes having to be used. Nautilus, Viet Mike not getting the best hook there. Almost dying for it, but I mean, we know he has the movement to get out of there. And I mean, yeah, Lilia's looking top. Viego's just clearing and clearing. Viego's honestly probably going to get this scuttle as Lilia does not want to walk into the river. Might be a little bit scared of the Viego early game, but I mean, what are you seeing right here?
I mean, it looks like the Terps are kind of camping that turret, trying to stay safe in that defensive position, and while still taking a bit of poke, giving a bit of poke as well.
Yeah, and as we were saying that, there's a little bit of a fight popping out in the top lane. Olaf going to have to ghost away, gets to keep the flash. He'll be happy about that, but not too happy about having to burn ghost. But you got to do what you got to do sometimes to get out. Don't want to be surrendering a kill at all, but especially the first blood. And, I mean, as we see a little bit of a jump coming out of from Jace in the mid lane, but Zero on the Victor, going to have a lot of damage. But in the bot lane, Varus getting first blood. Lyrex, first blood like it's nothing. He wants to keep running into Jhin. A little bit scary right now. Fourth shot coming out onto Viet Mike. Gets to shield it with the Nautilus W. But Jhin popped flash to do that. Doesn't get the kill. And he's going to be feeling a little bit not great about that, if I had to say it lightly.
Again, the Terps are coming out with first blood. And it seems like USF pushed up a little too far in that team fight.
Yeah, we didn't get to see the start, but we definitely got to see the end of it. And honestly, Lyrex just getting that first blood, getting the extra gold from it, getting the XP, he's going to be pretty happy with that. He gets a pretty decent recall off, going to be running back. But, I mean, again, we're just seeing a much faster start come out of Terps than the USF gold team. As we see a little bit of a gutsy play coming out from the top laner, Gwen. And honestly, I mean, again, just looking great. Leona's top lane, but they will not be able to take advantage of that too much in the bot, Lyrex and Viet Mike.
Yep, the dragon just spawned, so both teams are looking to converge onto that objective very soon.
Definitely. You can tell it's something that is, I mean, they've been thinking about it for minutes already, but whenever it spawns, you can definitely tell it's something that they're thinking about. As Gwen goes in, Ali Rezik going to be getting the Olaf flash out. Q flash is in, doesn't have enough damage. Olaf lives on 1 health, but Viego, Pika on the Viego is here to keep her safe, and a little bit of nothing happening there. Both sums coming out from Ali Rezik, just flash coming out from Olaf, and everyone kind of gets away scot-free almost.
Yeah, you saw that USF definitely tried to capitalize on that moment, but the Terps, with the good defense, were able to kind of kite back.
Definitely. And we see Viet Mike going in with the Nautilus hook. A little bit hard to miss, but Leona will be going in with her E. They want to battle this out. They want to duke it out. Varus has just too much damage combined with Nautilus. He is terrified of this Jhin fourth shot. That's going to be enough damage, but Viego's here. I mean, honestly, Lyrex might have had enough damage on his own to kill the Jhin. Doesn't want to chance it, though. Stays safe with Viego. Just walking in Pika. That is a kill to Lyrex as well, which is most likely better to be on the scalar Varus than Viego. But Terps are really going to be happy with the outcome of that one.
And you see that the Terps are up 1k in gold already. They're already... This is like a metaphor from last game. I mean, the Terps are already creating that momentum to carry that for the next few team fights.
For sure, and a little bit of an unspoken thing. I honestly just noticed it in that last team fight. Zero on the Victor has Ignite instead of Teleport. There are no teleports, no summoner teleports on the Terps for this game. Obviously, Gwen will get it from the role quest. But right there, Zero just using the Ignite to get the solo kill onto the Jace. You like to see that, especially living with this much health, this much mana still. You take that 10 out of 10 times. As there's just a little bit of back and forth in bot lane. Varus is 3-0, but especially, again, in these higher level games, it's a little bit hard to push the lead as well as you might see it in lower elo games. But there's a big wave crashing into the Terps right now, and it's not... honestly, USF might not be too happy with that. But, I mean, they'll definitely take first Dragon as they get the Infernal Drake coming out pretty early. Only about 3 minutes after it spawned. But what do you think about Infernal on USF? I mean, they have a lot of big damage dealers, but what do you think?
It will definitely help contribute to that extra pressure onto Terps. With their aggressive with their aggressive team comp, that can really benefit them in engaging the Terps for team fights.
Definitely. And we know Jason Jin are pretty bursty champions, so I think, honestly, in my opinion, that extra little bit of damage is going to really feel good. So, I mean, we're going to be seeing a little bit of a skirmish come out top lane. It's a little bit scary. Gwen is going to be hit with the lilting lullaby from Lilia, but Viego's here with the counter gank. Going to be R'ing in. Heartbreaker missing Lilia because she flashed away. He has flash of his own as well, though, as we see JCPing in. Most likely going to clean this up. Zero is not satisfied with that. Wants to come in, but he might be a little bit too little and a little bit too late, as that is a 2-for-1 in the favor of USF. What do you think about that in the grand scope of the game, I guess? I mean, that was a pretty decent fight coming out from USF.
That was definitely a much-needed win from USF there, but as you can see with the kill ratio and gold ratio, Terps is clearly ahead on those two facets and are kind of looking forward to carrying that into the end game.
Definitely, as we saw the kill coming out from Lyrex onto Jin, he gets Jin and they get Leona, but that will be, at the end of the day, that's going to end up as a 2-for-2, as Jace was there at the perfect time to clean it up. But again, still a 2-for-2. Terps, when you're up gold, I think you take those trades most of the time, honestly. You like it. As we see a little bit of a fight coming out in the top lane, but, you know, one of those things, Olaf just runs away, Gwen doesn't want to overextend, we get out of there. But there is something brewing in the mid lane, with Zero getting a little bit caught out. Great gank coming out from Lilia, has so much damage though, Victor, and he is not scared. He wants to stay in the middle of this fight like a bruiser. Great movement to dodge the spells, and they get out, but Viego and Viet Mike might not be done. I mean, again, like, big picture, what do you think about some of these fights? I mean, I personally think that they're better for Terps because you trade 1-for-1 when you're up. It's better for you, in my opinion. But what do you think?
Yeah, as you can see, USF is definitely trying to engage into the Terps. But with the Terps defense and advantage in gold and just overall resources, it's not easy for USF to do that successfully.
We saw a little bit of a skirmish coming out in the mid lane and a lot of damage coming out from Lyrex in the bot lane. But yeah, I agree with you. Sometimes it's just hard. Sometimes you try to get something going, but we know, I mean, you and I are Terps, but we know that the Terps campus-wide have a great synergy with each other. They are always there for each other, having each other's backs, and that's what we've been seeing all these last two games. Anytime someone gets caught out, someone is already there waiting to support. And as we see a little bit of poking coming out, Leona wants to recall. Maybe not. Lilia will definitely be recalling on her Gromp. But other than that, I mean, it's looking, in my opinion, it's looking good for Terps. Almost a 3K gold lead. But, I mean, Dragon spawning soon as well. What do you think that Dragon fight might look like?
You know, with the Terp lead right now, it's looking like Terps may take it. But we'll have to see if USF has anything up their sleeve, you know, that the Terps isn't seeing so far.
Definitely. And right there, honestly, we might have been seeing a little bit. They're trying to get a little bit of poke out before this Drake spawns. Only 40 seconds. And Viego, we know Pico wants to be here for the Drake. And, I mean, a little bit of a skirmish coming out top lane. But, yeah, that poke damage will definitely be big if they are looking for the Drake. Jace getting a little bit of vision, but Lilia will be running down. Missed hook from Viet Mike. This might be a little bit ugly, but that will not be enough. Jace is still mid. I thought he was walking down. He wasn't. Ult comes out from Leona. Curtain call from Jin. That's a 2-for-1. That is not optimal for the Terps at all, especially with Dragon spawning in right now. I wouldn't be happy with that, especially long term. I mean, if they get the Drake, what do you think might happen?
I mean, that was a great team fight engage from USF. They were able to take down two Terps and, you know, gain some gold advantage from that. But we'll have to see what that will lead to when the Drake finally spawns.
Definitely, and it's up right now, but I mean, we saw Lilia, we were talking about how big of a team fight swing it might be, but right there, we see some pretty great mechanics coming out from Pika. Might not have been too easy to catch, but he ulted, and Viego ult Heartbreaker is unstoppable. He ulted and unstoppable, that's unstoppable, and he canceled the Lilia ult. And so obviously, no Lilia ult, and he gets out pretty scot-free. I think you take that 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah. That 2-in-1 deal was definitely
for sure
strategic from USF.
Definitely. As a little bit of a skirmish is breaking out, Viego Pika definitely got the dragon. He is satisfied to have gotten it quick. He gets a pick on his own almost, but that is going to be a 1-for-1, at least right there. But we do see Halle Reza getting the solo kill in the top lane off screen, but still just as important. But right there, I mean, you like to see that. Pika on Viego has just so much damage on the dragon. He's just able to take it behind everyone's backs. And honestly, they get the drag, they go 1-for-1. What's not to like?
Exactly, and you see with the Terps taking down another turret, they're definitely carrying that momentum from early game down into this mid game.
Definitely. What do you think about this gold lead right now? I mean, I said earlier it was almost 3K. Right now it's almost 4K. What do you think about that?
Yeah, this game is like a motif from last game. It's almost very similar in the fact that the Terps are leading in gold and also in kill count.
For sure, for sure. And they're going to be trying to push this lead as well. Yeah, a little bit of a fight coming out. Bot lane, and right now it's looking like it's a pretty good fight for USF. Looking good on both sides as we see Leona going in, ulting, but Jin has his fourth shot, hitting Viet Mike, going to go 2-for-1. They're pretty happy with that. Lyrex getting, I think, both of those kills, if I'm not mistaken. Jin just getting one, but, I mean, that looks great. That looks definitely great for UMD, but the USF Gold team are not done as we see a Jace roam coming down, and they're going, after everything's said and done, that's a 2-for-2.
Yeah, that equalize and kill just allows both teams to converge on the Rift Heralds in a similar fashion.
For sure, but we saw that Jace roam down to the bot lane. We know that he won't be there to apply any pressure of his own onto the Rift Herald. That's just going to be pretty much a free Rift for Maryland, and you love to see that. And I don't know, games look, I mean, we've been seeing a lot of fighting, but sometimes there are down moments, like right now. Maybe this down moment is ending as we see Ali Rezik on the Gwen, getting ulted by Lilia, getting ulted by Leona, the solar flare. He is going to go down, not with not too much of a fight, as there wasn't really much of a fight to put up against 3. That's just how the league goes sometimes, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, the Terps are absolutely steamrolling through these team fights. It's like it's a repeat from last game, but we'll have to see what USF does differently this game to combat that.
Definitely, definitely. And with all the time, all the energy, all the resources depleted top lane, they all had to go in. UMD found a window to place the Rift Herald, but that is a big play, sending Nautilus into the center of the team. That is a wipe. He missed the hook, it looked like, was in the dead middle of everybody, and ended up dead for it.
Again, with the engage with USF, it's like it's happening every team fight. Engage, and then the Terps come back with even more resources, even more, Q combos. It's
for sure. I hear what you're saying. Don't worry. I definitely hear you as we see a little bit of just farming coming out in all the lanes. Yeah, USF doesn't look like they want to go down without a fight, which is as they should be looking. Kills are even, but gold is not even. Still down about 4K almost. Has been pretty even since earlier, but I mean, what do you do when you're even kills down gold? You have to try and make something happen, and that might be what we see on this next dragon spawning in a minute. A little bit of just clearing. Obviously, League is a slow game sometimes, so just a little bit of wave clear, a little bit of ping-ponging waves, as I like to call it, in the top lane, in the mid lane. But it looks like Zero is going to be trying to shove this wave out, and maybe the next for this dragon coming up. Honestly, this is, in my opinion, a fairly important dragon because this one kind of gives the lead, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what team takes this dragon, and if USF is able to obtain this dragon, it can create, definitely, like, decrease that ratio of the gold and, you know, create a bigger lead for USF.
Definitely.
A much needed one.
Definitely. As we see a little bit of an aggressive play coming out from Pika with the Viego engage with the 0 Victor E. Not going to be enough to kill anybody, but going to be a pretty decent chunk off of Leona, especially because they didn't really use any resources of their own. Dragon is up right now. Viego is on it, just hitting it. As we see 0 is walking up, but that will be Lyrex getting pretty caught out. Going to be not dying to the curtain call from the Jhin. Viego is on Jhin. That is a huge fight. Victor 0 has so much damage in the middle of everything. That was stellar stuff. There were 3 levels of that fight. There was one up top, one in the middle, and one at the bottom, and all across all 3 sides. I think UMD played it pretty perfectly.
Yeah, you saw with that first pick, and then with the first pick, they were able to get that momentum, and then, you know, USF wasn't able to trade any, unfortunately, but...
Unfortunately for USF, I guess, right? But good looks for the Terps. As we see, they run up, they get this inhibitor tower, and just looking to get out now. I mean, take what you get. Don't want to bite off more than you can chew. And yeah, Ali Rezik in the top lane on the Gwen. Going to be trying to get that tower. Not going to have enough, but I mean, yeah, I imagine they're just going to try and get out. You know, they got a pretty big win there, but we are seeing a fight coming out bot lane. Lilting Lullaby coming from Lilia, not going to capitalize on it though, as he is just a little bit too scared of Victor's. Victor has so much damage right now with the Lich Bane and the Ludens. A little bit of nothing happening across the map right now, but we will be seeing, probably, if I had to guess, there might be a little bit of contention over this Baron. It's been spawned for only about 30 seconds now, but I mean, we see so many people already for Terps, for topside, and Gwen is bot side, Ali Rezik, but he does have the Summoner TP from his role quest active and ready. So honestly, if UMD might look for a Baron sneak right here, especially if they catch Lilia out right now, which is what they're looking to do. Viego coming in with the W stun. Lilia has to flash. Viego tries to chase with the Heartbreaker. Not going to be enough. Pika is pretty happy to get Lilia's flash out, though, as a fight breaks out bot lane. L9 Sirac is his IGN. That's what confused me there. Gwen goes down. Ali Rezik gonna have to go down, but they used a lot of resources to kill him. 2 people bot lane leads to not enough people top lane to protect Jace. They're going to be running in, getting this inhib tower. They already have mid. They're looking for top.
I feel like there's this motif with the Terps. They have such good team synergy that they're able to follow up with kills and clean up those fights when it's most needed.
For sure, a big thing that you're seeing out of UMD as a team fight breaks out right here. Nautilus hitting a big hook on Jhin. That's going to be a team fight 1-0 running through with all his damage. Viet Mike going to be looking for a little bit of an ambitious hook on Olaf under the Nexus. Going to be missing, but that is top inhib down. That is mid inhib down, and that is a 1 team fight by all accounts as they look to walk away and maybe look for Baron. Does not look like they're going to be looking for Baron, though, as a couple recalls get out. They are a little bit low on health, a little bit low on mana, and honestly, with a big gold swing like that, you don't want to be caught out on any objective without spending the gold, right?
Yeah, exactly. Spending that gold for those resources is definitely very important after those important team fights.
Definitely. And 0 with the empowered recall, but Lilia is just a little bit too fast, even with the empowered recall. But 0 is not going to take the recall cancel lightly as he gets a completely solo kill on Lilia, all because she stopped his back. That's big stuff as we see. Yeah, honestly, with that pick on Lilia, they're just going to be looking at Baron, going to be looking to burst it down. Everyone is bot side. Well, now Jhin, Leona are mid, but they were just bot side. They're a little bit too far to be able to contest. We might see a little bit of an R out of Jin, but he will not try. As we see, Gwen is bot lane. They might be looking to collapse on her from the blue side jungle. Yeah, Gwen with no E. Olaf going to R. They're scrapping it out. Gwen dodges the Jin W, dodges the root with her own dash. Again, we said it comes up very quick. Dodges the solar flare from Leona as well. And that is, honestly, if I'm Ali Rezik, I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, with the Baron objective kill, that just secured the win for Terps, basically.
Pretty much, and we're seeing a big fight come out on these Nexus towers, and it's a little bit not of a fight, but it's more of a wipe coming out from UMD. Zero with a 100-0, and he wants more. They're going to be looking, wow, they're looking for a bit of a fountain dive, going to be trying to get it before the Nexus pops, but the Nexus will pop. They get their ace, they get their fountain dive, and that is a 2-0 series win for the Terps. Great games that we just saw, wouldn't you agree?
Great games. USF tried to put up a fight, but with those gold advantage and those objectives that the Terps have secured, it was definitely hard for them.
I know I was talking him up a lot, but what did you think about Zera there on the Victor? He looked like he was going a little bit crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely utilized so many skills and great Victor plays overall.
Yeah, definitely. He had so much damage. And I was saying, with the Lich Bane, it's such a poppy item when you use the Q, and you just get that Sheen proc. It does so much damage, especially when you're 8-0 at the end of the game like he was, right?
How did you think Olaf played into that game?
I think that UMD had a game plan for Olaf, and that was to keep him in side lanes away from fights. And that is exactly what they did. Olaf was always away from fights matching Gwen push, and he never really got to do anything that I was kind of saying in the pregame. He never really got to run through a team fight or anything like that because he was never there. And UMD seemed very, very content to go 4-on-4 in those team fights just without Gwen, as long as Olaf is away, which honestly is the right play, as we just saw. They kind of wiped.
Yeah, I mean, the Terps definitely barreled through those engages from USF. And with the Olaf gone, that was definitely a much-needed advantage.
For sure. We were talking up the Olaf a lot pregame, but again, they just had this game plan to neutralize his effect on the game, and it worked out just as they were planning. And, I mean, they reaped the benefits as we see the guys pretty happy about these. If I was them, I'd be pretty happy about these games, and I would imagine they are too. That was a pretty clean series from all of them, as we see. I mean, they're clean. I think that's the big thing, is that they were clean games. There were a little bit of hiccups, but there was never a doubt. They just got in, played their game, stomped a little bit hard, and got out.
Yeah, and with that last-minute Baron kill from last game, it really shows, did the Terps even need that extra objective to get the Nexus?
Fair enough. I mean, if they didn't need it, they definitely appreciate it, right? And so, honestly, yeah, with that extra damage from the minions, Baron gives a little bit of extra adaptive force as well, and they are pretty happy to get out of there just with the Baron and be able to just kind of run through. Wouldn't you think?
I mean, yeah, it just shows the Terps' confidence in their comp, in their gold advantage, and their objective advantage in almost every facet of the game.
I agree. For sure. I mean, they just kind of, again, I say this a lot, they kind of just got to do what they wanted that game, right? But that will be it for us. We have a couple of sponsors to thank today. First, we have the Philip Merrill College of Journalism. Thank you so much for housing us, letting us have the studio here. We also have the Recreation and Wellness Center at UMD to thank, because that is the whole program of this esports gig, and Playwire as well. Thank you so much for the sponsor. And I think with that, unless you have any closing remarks, I think we're out.
Yeah, thank you, sponsors. And that was...
Yep, fair enough. I mean, I definitely catch your drift. Well, I'm Nathan.
I'm Cindy.
And thank you so much for tuning into this stream, and we hope to catch you at any other kind of time.